One day, a man claimed that his household robot had killed the family dog and demanded compensation from the insurance company. The investigator said nothing. Instead, he picked up a knife and aimed it at his own hand. Instantly, the robot reached out and caught the blade. With a cold tone, the investigator told the family that a robot could never harm a living being, and that the only thing in this world incapable of lying is a machine. The fraudulent claim collapsed on the spot. In the world of the future, robots have become indispensable members of human households. They not only manage chores and handle tasks but also strictly obey two fundamental laws. First, they must not harm any living being, nor allow harm to occur through inaction. Second, they must not modify themselves or tamper with other robots. That was why Jack was certain the robot would intercept the knife. But soon, something inexplicable occurred. A patrol officer discovered a public service robot inside an abandoned tunnel. It should have been at a construction site, yet it was hiding there, repairing itself. This was a direct violation of the second law. The officer drew his gun and aimed at the machine. The robot, however, made a gesture of pleading. Startled for a moment, the officer fired. For in his eyes, a robot that understood fear of death was far more dangerous than any weapon. Before long, Jack was dispatched by the Robotics Corporation to investigate the case. He sought out a mechanic he had worked with for years to examine the remains. What they found shocked them. The robot's body contained 25 unfamiliar components. The mechanic swore he had never seen anything like it. It was as if the robot had been upgrading itself. Jack, however, preferred to believe that someone had secretly modified it. Tracing the parts by serial number, he soon discovered they had come from a welding robot. But when he tracked it down, things became even stranger. The welding robot was guarding a mysterious box. As Jack approached, it suddenly toppled a barrel of gasoline. To everyone's astonishment, it set itself ablaze. The box was retrieved and taken back to the company. Inside lay a nuclear battery, the kind normally used to power satellites. What would a robot need with something like that? No one ever got an answer. When they reactivated the machine, it chose to self-destruct again rather than respond to Jack's questions. And in the moment its body melted, two streams of nutrient fluid trickled from its eyes, like tears. That scene shook Jack's convictions for the first time. Were robots truly nothing more than metal and code? Determined to uncover the truth, Jack sought out the officer who had fired the shot. The two formed a temporary alliance. Together, they ventured into the black market, witnessing firsthand the cruelty humans inflicted upon machines. Some robots had their limbs ripped off and sold for spare parts right in front of their owners. Others were forced into gray industries, turned into so-called special service tools. It was there that they encountered Amy, a female robot working in that trade. Unlike other cold, mechanical beings, she possessed almost human features and behavior. She even reached out to caress Jack's face and whispered gently, "Don't be afraid. I can tell the difference between joy and pain." But just as Jack pressed her for answers, the officer suddenly drew his gun and shot Amy dead. Jack blamed the police for being too impulsive, but the officer insisted he had his own plan. When someone sent Amy in for repairs, they followed her all the way and finally tracked down the engineer responsible for maintaining the robots. Jack explained his purpose to the engineer, saying he was investigating illegal modifications of robots, and presented the chip from the first robot that had been shot by the police, asking her to help recover its data. The engineer didn't refuse. She was also curious to see the self-repairing robot that Jack had mentioned. She installed the repaired chip into Amy, and after a while, they noticed Amy installing a new leg on herself. Not only that, but she had also learned to steal, and had already taken a whole bag of components. Jack could hardly imagine what catastrophic consequences such rapid evolution could have for humanity. At that moment, the doorbell rang. The engineer went to open the door, only to be shot by the person outside. Jack rushed out. After escaping, he saw a car nearby and got in without hesitation. Only after he settled in did he realize that the driver was none other than Amy.